Hi, my name's Darren, and I'm going to tell you about a goose that does not fly south for the winter.
Hi, I'm Drew, and I have a story that some might call crazy.
Hi, my name is Chelsea, and I'm going to tell you about a music video, the best music video, in my opinion, that's ever been made.
What do all of these stories have to do with the word plane? Find out in this week's episode of History Bluffs. Hello and welcome to History Bluffs. It's where truth is stranger than fiction. And now I want to welcome to the stage, it's your host, Gina!
Hi, everybody in the world. It's Gina Bobina. How are you doing? I hope that you're doing great because you can't answer me. And so I just wanted to say hello and welcome to History Bluffs. Tonight is a fun night because we have a topic to inspire these historians to tell us these great stories. They will regale us in a moment. And this is we set this up as a podcast and a live stream video so that you can play along at home. And so Adam is going to tech our show. That's the voice you heard tonight. And his name is Adam Bellis. He's our wonderful tech making us sound
thank
and look
you.
good. Yes,
Thank
hi.
you. I'm
How are
here
you,
to
Adam?
help. I'm doing
Yeah.
good. I'm feeling hot tonight. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah. It is going to be a fun show, and I would love to tell everybody the rules in the world at home so that they know how to play along.
Oh, man. Okay. You want me to put the rules card up?
Huh? Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me do that. Let's see here. Somewhere I've got there's the rules. For those of you who can see, there's rules on your screen. If you can't,
There are.
Gina, she's going to tell you.
Yeah, I will tell you because every game show has to have rules, and then I will get back to the actors in the show in just a second. So very quickly, the most boring part of the show is to tell you that our historians are inspired by a topic. Tonight's topic, in case you did not hear, is the word plane. And so they will all be inspired by that topic and tell you a story, all of which will be completely true except for one person. They are going to be your bluff tonight. They're trying to trick you. Remember that they are trying to trick you, so watch out for their tells and their little trickeries and all the things. And then no audience help, please. If you're watching from home, we love for you to comment in the side. But if you don't mind, if you do look our stories up to find out if we're who the bluff is, please don't tell everybody else because that's just rude. Okay, so now we're going to go into the show. So I'd love to say hello to our historians, and I'm going to start from the top to the bottom. So hi, Darren, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Gina.
Hey,
A little froggy.
was that your little froggy? Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know? You just are? Okay.
Maybe
You
it's
know,
the
when we were
altitude.
froggy a couple of years ago, we just test for COVID. Now it's like, I'm just froggy. Like,
It's
I'm gonna
over.
die. It's just a
That's
cold.
what we do.
yeah. Hey, Darren, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You travel a lot, and if you ever go mountain climbing, and if you owned your own plane, do you know where you would actually keep that?
When I go mountain climbing,
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't-
and you owned a plane.
you
Where
know,
would you
all those-
keep it?
All those
that
mountains you've
seems
climbed.
like it would be inconvenient to pull up on the rope with you.
Well, that's why
true.
you have to leave it someplace and
How would
store
you
it.
do that?
Okay, I don't know. Do you have a suggestion of where I would leave it?
Oh, sure. In honor of our friend, it's a cliffhanger. Cliff McClough, that was for you.
Oh, wow.
He gives us
That's-
an airplane.
Oh, man.
He
I'll
lives
take it.
in Seattle where they make airplanes.
Yes.
Oh.
And also have airports. So-
There is an airport in Seattle. Correct.
Okay. So hey, Drew, I want to say hi to Drew now. Drew's down in our bottom corner there. What's up? What's cooking?
Just doing the same old here in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I let people try my cooking, but you know what their response is?
I don't.
It's just so plain.
Oh,
Why
wow.
does everybody put their head down when I say these?
No,
To me,
it's
they're
we're just so laughing so hard. That's what our heads do.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I want to welcome Chelsea. This is Chelsea's first night with us. Chelsea, turn your mute button off, and
Oh, yeah.
you'll get to play with us because I have a question for you. Thank you.
I'm ready for it.
Chelsea, first of all, to History Bluff players, this is Chelsea Book, and let's give her a round of applause and welcome her to our show and our stage and her first time with us tonight. We will try to be gentle.
Welcome.
Yes. Chelsea, they have this primate who is like has like a higher temperature than average, and also flies. Do you know what they call him?
I don't know why a sugar glider is coming to mind, but probably not.
That's an awesome guess. That is what he uses, but it's a hot air baboon.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the show, Chelsea. That's how it goes.
There you go. That's how it does go.
It does go whenever I'm
First and last show.
What's that, Drew?
First and last show.
Chelsea's like, boo.
Takes more than that to get rid of me, okay?
All right, good deal.
So
Excellent.
in that statement, I heard make the puns funnier. Okay, you got it.
All right.
Here we go.
That's what we'll do.
We're going to now. Hey, Adam?
Yeah.
Sorry to
Gina.
cut you off, man. I keep
I'm
interrupting
here.
you.
Let's
Okay,
do
cool.
it. What do you got?
I'm ready. Are you ready? We're going to start the show. You know what we do when we start the show? We start off with the very first round. It's called
Round number 1.
All right, the players are going to tell their stories in 3 rounds, and the first round will be 75 seconds. They will get successively shorter in each round, and I will actually go ahead and start with Drew in the middle there. Drew, go ahead and regale us with your story as soon as you hear the buzzer. Or the boom. I'm sorry, we're doing booms this time.
We're going to go with the boom, and here it comes.
Okay, let's talk about the Great Plains. You know, that area between the East Coast and the West Coast, it gets no love. The Great Plains stretches from the Rocky Mountains to the Missouri River and from the Rio Grande to the forests of Canada. It's the heartland of America. There's a lot of history to be found in the Great Plains, especially surrounding the Native Americans. And one of the most famous Native Americans of all is Crazy Horse. He was born in Bear Butte, South Dakota. He was a Lakota war leader of the Oglala tribe, and he rose to fame. Came from his unyielding opposition to American expansion in the Lakota lands. During the Red Cloud's War, Red Cloud was one of the head chiefs. He demonstrated his military prowess in various fights, including the Wagon Box fight, which was a famous fight. The tribe's success forced the government to rethink their approach, and they offered a treaty, but Crazy Horse refused to honor it. His reputation earned him the admiration of the Lakotas and the Northern Cheyennes, and even tribal enemies such as the Crows. This earned him the highest honor in 1868 when he was named one of the head warriors, also known as shirt wearers. This is where Crazy Horse's story gets crazier. Next time.
Oh, you got it in just under the wire there, Drew. That was your 75 seconds. Excellent. I just want to ask Darren. Darren, I see your head bobbing there. What are your thoughts on Drew's story?
Well, I think it's nice of you, Drew, since it's Chelsea's first show, to call it a butte when we know it's pronounced butt, but
You said butt.
just being polite. I think
good.
that's nice of you to
He
be
has
polite,
manners.
seeing it's our first show.
Clean show. It's a clean show.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Darren. Chelsea, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Drew's show, and it's your first show, but don't hold back, okay?
It is my first show. It's not the first time I'm watching. And sometimes it's, I don't want to say easy to tell a story that sounds super factual and just, include all of these names and locations and throw out years. And there's nothing there for me to believe it is true.
Oh. So she is actually,
Wow.
if I translate that correctly, she's calling you a bluff in the first round. I love it, Chelsea. Okay, well, we have one accusation there. I would have loved to have been in the Wagon Box fight if they had that Franzia wine. I think that's what they named it over.
Yes, yes, they did.
Exactly it. And so we're going to move now on to the next story. And Darren, I'd love to hear your first rounds inspired by the word plane whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, my story is about an airplane called the H-4 Hercules, also popularly known as the Spruce Goose, but Howard Hughes didn't really like that name, and some people even called it the Flying Lumberyard. And what it was the biggest airplane ever built at the time. Had 8 engines, could carry a payload of 150,000 pounds, 3,000 miles. And this airplane was designed during World War II. It was huge. It had a wingspan of 320 feet, bigger than a whole football field. And because of the war and the need for aluminum to make fighter planes and bombers, it was made entirely out of Canadian spruce wood. And basically, it was the world's first composite airplane. And it was made with a process called Duramold, which was lots of thin layers of wood that were glued together and actually ironed. And they actually, this company, the Rodis Manufacturing Company in Vancouver, British Columbia, employed teams of young women to iron the wood together because women knew how to iron things, apparently. And the men were off fighting the war.
Oh my goodness! So the women had to stay behind and do like laundry. Like they had to iron. That's awful.
300-foot long laundry. Yeah.
Oh,
That like will
man.
make a girl's arm tired. I'll tell you that. I can't even stand ironing
Anyone's
one
tired.
shirt.
Eesh.
Awesome. So Chelsea, what do you think about Darren there?
I feel like it could be true. It's odd enough where it could be, where there's nothing too insane or I don't know. It seems a little specific what you're throwing out there. So I'm not sure that you've made that up. I'm still thinking through the bluff.
So you threw enough facts in that one. Drew threw a few, too few, and then you've thrown too many. So Chelsea is still on Drew. Okay, cool. So Darren, your thoughts? I'm sorry, Darren, you just said Drew. Your thoughts?
Yeah,
I think
well,
I'm telling the truth.
okay, so
Fair.
I mean, I'm intrigued to hear more because, well, let's just say that this is true and that there is a wooden plane, and this wooden plane is the size of a football field. You don't hear about wooden planes today, so that tells me that there's maybe a tragic ending coming to this story if it is indeed true. Otherwise, they'd be making like more spruce gooses. So.
Oh, very cool. I love that. You're talking about that this 1,000-pound thing of wood. I mean, that's a lot of wood, I've been known to say. And it's like, we're just going to move on and go to the next round. I think they call them boats now, Drew. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
So I think we have one person left in this round, as I can tell from the empty spot above me, and that's Chelsea. Chelsea, please go to the center screen. Regale us with your story inspired by the word plane as you hear the boom.
So my story is about one of the greatest, if not the greatest music video of all time, Toxic, with Miss Britney Spears. So the music video Toxic, when everybody thinks of it, it's Britney in that sheer suit, covered in crystals. She's diving through laser beams. She's dancing, and everybody remembers her as a stewardess in the plane. So Britney is a lot smarter and creative than people give her credit for. She actually came up with the idea of being a stewardess who joins a club that's 1 mile in the air, if you know what I mean. So director Joseph Kahn asked her what she wanted to do. And he said, you know what, let's get a guy who doesn't look like a guy he'd be interested in. And boom, he turns into this gorgeous, gorgeous model. So that's what they did. They brought this gorgeous person into the plane. She brought him into the bathroom, gave him a nice big kiss. And that's not the only gorgeous model who was in this music video.
Oh my.
And the music video, part of it almost didn't even happen.
Oh my God. Okay, so I do remember her in that video, and she's got, I mean, I think it's like easier to remember her with a bald head than that little blue cap these days, but I mean, that is true. Darren, your thoughts, please.
Well, the great thing about this show is I know as much about Britney Spears as Chelsea knows about composite aircraft production.
Probably correct.
So what are your thoughts on her story?
I mean, sure. Sure. Why not hire a bunch of beautiful people? I mean, I think that's an easy casting choice. Yeah, let's hire models to be in a music video. I believe it.
Oh. Yeah. All right, Drew, what do you think about her story and or Britney Spears?
I too do not know a whole lot about Britney Spears. I was Team Aguilera the whole way.
Ooh,
Okay.
Uh-oh,
Now I might
uh-oh.
not come back.
That's the line right there.
Yes, it is.
That's it
I,
right there.
but when she, at her intro, like I thought when she said the greatest video of all time, and being that the theme is plane, I was for certain she was going to bring up "Hey There, Delilah" by the Plain White Tees. I thought that is arguably the best video of all time. So
There it is.
yeah, knowing what I know about Britney Spears, this could be 100% true or a 100% bluff.
Okay. Well, Chelsea, you played your first round well because you have stumped them, and so neither one of them have voted for you, so that's actually good. But since my thing above my head is full, that means we're going to move on to the next round. Adam.
That must be round number 2.
It is. Okay, this is the round where we go and have reduced the time to 60 seconds, and we go in a different order just to give your mind a mind blow like Brittany did in the bathroom. So we're going to start off. Maybe she didn't do that. I'm sorry, Brittany. I apologize.
It's implied.
So, Darren, we're going to start with you on your story here. So we'll go ahead and come up to the center of the thing and tell us more about the wood.
All right, so the building of the Hercules was a monumental undertaking. It's, as I said, the largest aircraft ever built, 5 stories tall, wingspan longer than a football field, just like a city block wide. And because of this, it took forever to build. And this was supposed to be a supply plane to move large volumes of cargo to Europe during World War II, so because of all the losses of ships to U-boats. And it just dragged and didn't even get finished until 1947. And Congress was furious about this. They held hearings. They brought Howard Hughes in and questioned him in front of Congress. And finally, he hired a moving company that moved houses to move it out to Long Beach, California, and tow it into the harbor because it is a seaplane. And one day in 1947, they took it on a test flight where it got to a height of about 100 feet, flew for a few minutes and landed, and it taxied back to the harbor, never flew again.
Wait, why?
I could read the Wikipedia article more if you want to know why.
Drew, please tell us what you think about that one.
Well, we all know everything on Wikipedia is 100% true, so that would have been true. This plane. Okay, so like his first round, this plane was like the size, like the length of a football field. Now this time it's 5 stories high. Like, okay, like what Canadian forest did they just annihilate to make this plane with all that's not a lot of wood. It just seems like a lot of work for like what he's saying, little payoff in the end. So
Well, I mean, I think if you look up another Wikipedia article, you'll see that in 1940 something there was a whole forest wiped out in Canada. So
Yeah, probably. It's probably in there.
Spruce trees.
I never looked.
Chelsea, please, your thoughts.
I'm having a hard time believing that it landed like successfully and that the whole mission like went off without a hitch with all that ironed wood. So I'm a little bit skeptical now.
Those ladies must have been pissed. All that work for nothing.
Right?
It's like,
Right?
it's like, all that, and he's not even going to wear it? Like, it's like, what the hell?
Man.
That's screwed up. Well, I just think that that's a really great story. The thing I didn't catch in the first round that made it a little bit more plausible for me was the seaplane. I didn't catch that it was a seaplane. And I'm like, why are they making it out of wood? That seems so crazy. But now it makes more sense. But I still don't know who's lying and who's not. But I'm going to go on for this round. We're going to switch to Chelsea. And Chelsea, we want to hear the second part of your story. Go ahead and start whenever the boom hits.
All right, so the second part of my story is not just what was happening in this music video, but who was in this music video. So we also had Martin Henderson in here, who is now one of the biggest Netflix stars on Virgin River. So there are so many people that are in this video who you can definitely recognize today. Another person in this video was Mr. Tyson Beckford. So he is an actor, he's a producer, he's just visually stunning to look at. He's the guy that is on that motorcycle when Brittany jumps on the motorcycle, and they're like weaving in and out of traffic. And he was also in Zoolander too. Tyson Beckford almost did not make it to the music video shoot, and we'll find out why in round 3.
Oh, that is interesting. I'm thinking Zoolander. I'm like top model, but then Zoolander. That threw me for a second. It's like I'm not really sure.
He played himself.
Zoolander was all hot models.
He was himself in Zoolander. That's why.
Yes, Ben Stiller is amazing. Darren, your thoughts?
Well, I think the reason he almost didn't make it was like driving a motorcycle in traffic is dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't
And I don't think he was wearing a
where
helmet.
they're going. They all of a sudden they got to turn left from the right lane.
Yeah, it is a
That's
little
why I don't own a
confusing.
motorcycle anymore.
Yeah, watch for
that?
motorcycles.
That's why I don't own a motorcycle anymore.
Yeah,
Too
no, it's
dangerous.
very, very dangerous. Drew, your thoughts on her story?
Well,
And pick her apart. You guys are being so nice to her.
okay, so
He already did with the Christina Aguilera comment, but
That's true. That was brutal.
That's right. That was the
Family
line.
her more than that.
well, how about
It's
this?
unnecessary,
How about this? She mentioned that this guy was in Virgin River. I don't think I've ever heard a story about Britney Spears with the word virgin in it.
You haven't?
So,
Snap.
and just a point of clarification, you said this Tyson guy was in Zoolander 2. Was he in Zoolander
Zoolander.
2 or Zoolander also?
Who knows?
The first one.
I didn't catch that
Aha,
actually.
okay.
So it was the first one. Okay.
Right, because there is a sequel, right? TOO. So, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Drew,
yes. I think
I've
the first
heard
guy.
a story.
Yeah.
I've heard a story with the word virgin in it about Britney Spears,
Yeah.
but it's about her male fans.
Oh.
Oh. But I'm fun.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Christina
Christina
Aguilera. Yeah,
Aguilera.
exactly.
There it
Her
is.
style. So now we have one thing to do in this round, and that is to hear Drew's final part or second part of his story. So Drew, whenever you're ready, we'll turn our ears on. Go for it.
All right.
All right, it's getting juicy. In 1870, Crazy Horse invited Black Buffalo Woman to accompany him on a buffalo hunt. The only problem was that Black Buffalo Woman was married to No Water, a known drunk in their tribe. When No Water learned of his wife's whereabouts, he tracked them down and found them in a teepee. No Water stood outside the teepee and called Crazy Horse's name. When Crazy Horse answered, No Water stuck a pistol into the teepee and aimed it right at Crazy Horse. Before pulling the trigger, a cousin of Crazy Horse named Touch the Clouds happened to be near the entry. He knocked the pistol upwards as No Water fired. The bullet grazed Crazy Horse in his upper jaw. Realizing he failed, No Water jumped on his horse and raced back to his village with Crazy Horse in hot pursuit. Once back at the village, the elders convinced both men that no more blood should be shed, and as compensation, No Water gave Crazy Horse 3 of his best horses as kind of a compensation.
So I'll do your wife and you get 3 horses. That's like what he was doing. Oh my gosh. I think though I'm starting to believe Drew's story because when he said that one of them was named No Water and he was a drunk, I mean that scans,
That
all he did
does.
is like
Oh.
no water,
He was
just alcohol.
dehydrated.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That works. I love it.
Chelsea, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's bluffing.
Even though No Water is a drunk?
Especially because No Water is a drunk.
I told you they would use trickery. All right, Darren.
Oh.
I think Drew got an app on his phone for generating Indian names,
Yes.
and that was $1.99 well spent.
Because they're good. I
They're
believe
great.
them. Oh,
I do because every time he says them, I like lean in. I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
wow.
This is
I think
Black
Drew's
Buffalo.
Indian name would be like Bluffs with Words.
Oh. That's fighting
I
words.
think I'd be Tail Rider, to be honest.
Nice. Can't you be both? I don't know the rules.
You could. I think it's your warrior
All right.
name and your civilian name. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I always heard it was what they were doing at the time of your birth. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard that from two dogs fucking though, so I don't know if that's true or not.
No.
No, but you know what that means right now? We're gonna go into round 3.
Thank goodness.
Was that the bad trombone, Adam? It's too soon.
Yeah, it can get worse. But meanwhile, let's just go on to round number 3.
All right, this is the round where at home you start deciding who is bluffing and who is not, so you can put it in the side comments and let us know. But also, this is also fun because the rounds are now 45 seconds, like
Whoa.
even shorter, like really super short for them to wrap up their stories. We're gonna go in this order: Chelsea, Drew, Darren. So I'm gonna go Chelsea first. You get 45 seconds to finish up your story as soon as you hear the boom.
All right, coming at you.
Okay, so Mr. Tyson Beckford did not get the call that he was going to be in the Toxic music video until one day before, really the night before that the shoot happened. What was also happening the night before the shoot happened? Tyson Beckford's birthday. What was he doing on his birthday? He was at his own birthday party. What was he doing there? Drinking vodka, drinking a lot of vodka. He did not just drink one bottle of vodka, but he was on his second bottle of vodka and then was told, "You're not going to be able to board the plane to be on the Toxic shoot tomorrow unless you stop drinking." So he puts down his second bottle of vodka, douses himself in cologne, and successfully boards the plane.
Oh my God! If he was doing that, he must have put it in. Okay, so I think his Native American name would be Too Drunk to Board. Okay, so now, yes,
Perfect.
Drew, you're shaking your head, understandably, and I like your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I think when he started that second bottle of vodka, he probably said, "Oops, I did it again."
That's the trombone, Adam.
I liked it though. Okay.
Oh.
Don't tell me when to play a trombone. I tell you.
Someone
what.
had to throw it in there.
But
Wait, if you
no.
play the trombone,
Play
does
the
that mean you
trombone,
don't
come
like
on.
it? Because you play it a lot when I host.
Oh, that's true.
Go on,
Just
play the
kidding.
trombone.
All
Drew,
right,
you
here comes.
sounded
All
like
right,
you
he
had-
gets it. There it is. There it is.
Can you
And I
do-
apologize, Drew. You
you
had
play
more
the
to say,
trombone
and I cut
again?
you off.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah, hit me, baby. one
Oh,
more
I
time.
see what he's doing. Now you get the rim shot because that was a silly joke. All right. All right, leave the tech booth out of your nonsense. Gina, take this show on the rails.
That's another type of transportation. Drew, did you have more to say? I didn't mean to cut you off, my friend.
What more can I say? It's
It's true.
I'm tempted to watch this video after this episode ends, but I'm
Me too.
also kind of like, maybe I won't.
Watch
seen it
the
already.
video regardless.
I'm
Wait,
watching.
maybe you won't? Why? That's just funny. You're like, and maybe I won't.
Maybe I won't.
Maybe I won't.
It's very encouraging when the historians are
made
telling
it
the
this
viewers they
far.
won't even watch
Like,
it.
I'm gonna watch Genie in a Bottle instead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Rude,
Yeah.
or the voice. Nice. Okay, so I think that's all. Wait, no, Darren, did you have anything to say about Chelsea's story? I would
I
like to.
did. She lost me at saying he doused himself in cologne because anyone who looked half as fabulous as this guy sprays it in the air and walks through. Just like
That is true. That is true. Really, actually spraying, it's just criminal.
Oh,
And I also
But
have
also another Britney Spears song, by the way.
wow. Oh my God, it is. It is.
Wow.
All right,
Another
guys.
music
This is,
video. We'll get to
this
that
is
one
turning
next
into
time.
a circus, so I think we should go on now to the next speaker. That's going to be Drew. Drew, I would love to hear your story. Finish this up and finish it out and tell us more about these lovely. I'm writing down the names. I love this.
All right, coming at you, Drew.
Okay, so while Crazy Horse was compensated for getting shot in the jaw, he was also punished. Because he was caught with a married woman, he was stripped of his title as shirt wearer. The affair was over quicker than it began. But don't think that Crazy Horse couldn't find love. Soon after, the elders sent Black Shaw to heal Crazy Horse after his altercation. Black Shaw was known for having skill in treating bullet wounds. Like a Great Plains romance novel, they fell in love, and in 1871 they were married. Later that year, they had a daughter named They Are Afraid of Her. Even though he lost his title as shirt wearer, Crazy Horse kept a sizable following and continued to oppose the U.S. government all the way up to his death in 1877.
I don't even care if this story is not true anymore. I freaking love it. Like, I feel like Drew had the, like I said, you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm just going to get a story that has as many names or make up a story just to throw them off the scent. I love it. Brilliant strategy, Darren.
Well, Gina, since you already dropped the F-bomb, I'll drop another one here. It's amazing that the penalty for shooting somebody in the face is like, just give them $5. But if you fuck somebody's wife, you don't get to wear a shirt anymore.
Yeah, that's what shirt wearer, was that his name?
It was like an honorary title. It's an honorary title.
Because he wore a shirt. I love that, Chelsea. I mean, we could all be shirt wearer. Go ahead, Chelsea. Shirt wearer, I mean.
I have a few theories. One is that Drew found a game of Mad Libs on the internet. And then another is that he just gave me a story about playing into like Chat GPT and like just saw what, kind of picked what he liked out of the story. So yeah, definitely the bluff, sticking with it.
That's right. And artificial intelligence is like, oh, these names are funny. I'll keep going. So that's like, excellent. Well, we will wrap up. That is the last round of Drew's story about the womanizer. And we're going to go over to Darren. We're going to do his story for his last round right now.
All right. Boom. Coming at you.
Okay, so after a little more research between rounds, they spent a total of about $200 million in today's dollars to develop the Spruce Goose, and out of it they got one plane that they flew one time, and they decided it just wasn't practical at the time to build more composite airplanes, so they never built another one. And if you want to see it, it's in the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum in Oregon now. But the thing most people who know about the Spruce Goose think is that it was built by Howard Hughes, and that's the big thing that's not true, is it was built by William Monroe Archibald, who would later to go on to found Bombardier Aviation in Canada, which now builds regional jets, which are those little jets you fly on when you fly to some secondary city and there's not enough demand to fill up a whole big airplane. Kind of
hold the phone. I thought that the guy that you're talking about did the Playboy models, no?
Wait,
William Monroe Archibald? Or
Howard Hughes?
Yeah, Howard the Duck Hughes.
Gina, you're thinking
Hefner.
of Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My husband's over here saying it too. Thanks, honey. I'm so glad you read Playboy.
Good article. Good article.
He said he doesn't read it for the articles. Doesn't read it for the articles. I love my
It's got
man.
a great table of contents.
Okay, so I would like to hear your thoughts on that final round of Darren's story. Chelsea, take it away.
Might be so boring that it could be true. Plain Jane for the plane topic. I don't know. Yeah.
She just called your Indian name boring. You're just boring. Drew, please.
You don't even get a two-namer?
No, he's just boring.
No, my Indian name is Lectures in Community College.
No.
There it is.
Okay.
Drew,
I missed the part. There was something about it was $200 in today's dollars. What does that even mean?
Million.
200 million. Oh.
Adjusted for inflation.
Well,
that was a good trick. That was a good fact to keep in. Okay. And so, Drew, does that change your thought? Sorry, Darren, what?
$25 million in the 1940s.
Okay.
Oh, and what is it today?
$225 million.
Oh, I get you. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, Drew, sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to.
Million. That makes more sense. I'm relieved that this plane didn't get any larger this time around, but I am questioning how. Okay, so it had that flight and it landed in Long Beach, California, and now it's in the museum in Oregon. Did they fly it there? Did they have a second flight, or did it just kind of like float up there like debris?
Like debris.
Why Oregon? Like, why is there why not keep it in California? I don't know. Just seems there's a lot of holes in this story.
Valid.
Yeah. Well, Drew, I also was relieved that his wood didn't grow in that last round either. So I'm really pleased with that. And there wasn't enough room on the screen.
Cold in California.
Was that, my friend?
The
It was
water's
cold.
cold.
Okay. So I feel like I would like to hear just everybody's thoughts on who they think is the bluff. If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
playing,
The ground
if you're
tracker
playing-
is full.
Yeah, we're full, Adam. That means the show is completely over in terms of them telling us their story.
Oh,
Now all
man,
we have to
okay.
do is like hear what they think about who the bluff is. So I'm going to start with Chelsea over there. Chelsea, your first show. Who's your first bluff? Who are you
Well, we
playing
already
with?
know this. It's 100% true. That is.
I did already know
made
that.
up, and you could see the enjoyment on his face. Like he looked a little too thrilled with himself as he was telling it.
Yeah, that is true. The genie is out of that bottle. All right. So Darren, your thoughts, please.
I too am voting for bluffs with words. For Drew.
Yes.
Wait, what?
So that means 2 for Drew. That would bluffs with words. I
Interesting.
love that. So we have 2 for Drew. Drew, if you're the bluff, you actually won the whole game. So, Drew, I need to hear your thoughts, though. Who do you think of those 2? Now it's your feedback time.
I mean, I have to just assume this whole Britney story is true. So just by default, this wooden airplane. I mean, Darren might as well have just told us if he wanted to be believable, he could have told us the story about Noah's Ark, which was made of wood and was the size of a football field and was in the ocean, not some plane that ended up in the ocean. So I think Darren is the bluff.
Wow.
Okay, so we have 2 votes for Drew, 1 vote for Darren, and none for Chelsea. Wow, if Chelsea pulls this off and she's telling the truth, that will be, I think, the first person ever to play this game their first time and fool the whole panel. Okay,
Wow.
so Adam, I don't even know who the bluff is. I'm going to turn it over to you, Adam. I'm going to take myself out of the stream to tell the studio audience who they think is the bluff for this show.
All right, you got it. I'm going to line up the perpetrators here and put them in the suspicious historian bluff holes. Was your bluff for this show? Was it Darren? It could have been him. Or was it Drew? It could have been Drew. Or was your bluff Chelsea? In which case she got away scot-free. Well, let me tell you, I know who the bluff is. Your bluff for this whole time. It was Darren.
Oh wow!
Boring one?
Yes, the very same.
Well, Chelsea
Some
called him
people
out.
don't like
It was
aviation
delightful.
history. Here's the thing about my bluff: the Spruce Goose is a real airplane, but it was not made in Canada or out of Canadian spruce or any of that BS. It was made in America, like a real American. Biggest plane in the world that's useless.
That's useless. Do you think that they named Goose in Top Gun because of Spruce Goose?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because he was big and useless, right?
Yeah,
I
and
think
Native
so,
American, as I understand. So you know,
That's
they-
true.
Oh,
Watch the new
fascinating.
movie.
Oh, there's a lot of overlap here. You never know where history's going to take you.
Bruce Goose
And he
was
probably would carry
Crazy
us-
Horse's brother.
yes, there you go. It all
Perfect.
connects.
And you know,
God.
And
Goose
Britney Spears' long lost cousin. Yeah.
he would totally karaoke Britney Spears with Maverick.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably would.
Exactly.
Probably would.
Well, they would probably sing "Give Me More," and that means we have to give you less and say goodbye, everybody. Thanks so much for coming to this episode of History Bluffs. I'd like to thank Adam for doing all of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Thanks,
Oh,
Adam.
my pleasure. Hey,
Yay.
it's been awesome. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate that. You've been great, Gina. Wonderful
Thank you.
host.
Thank
Everybody's
you.
been wonderful. Darren, Drew. Oh man, look at you guys. Chelsea, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. This has been History Bluffs. Don't forget, we're on podcast. Get it where podcasts are available. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're here every week to school you in history. Learn something, learn who's bluffing, make accusations. See you then.